Hello, I'm letting folks into the meet. I have you on mute, but please do type in questions to the chat and I'll review all of those at the end. And we are recording this meeting as well. So we'll send this out and I'll repeat all of this again as we move through, but we'll send all this out, recording and forms, etc., early next week as well. I'll give it just a couple more minutes here and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. So someone in the chat room, just give me a quick, yes, I hear you, it sounds good. There we go. Thank you. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. My experience with these meetings is I'm going to get started and then some other folks will come along and I'll admit them, which I'm doing right now. And so if I get a little clunky at the beginning, that's why, because I'm also watching the screen and having folks jump in. So please forgive that as we go ahead and get started here. Okay. I don't see anyone else in the waiting room right now. So I am Brad Chamberlain. I think there might be a couple parents on. I see some student names, so hello everyone. If you want to turn on your camera, that is fine. If not, that's fine as well. I'll try to keep this presentation brief and to the point and give you time for questions at the end. So I'm going to share my screen. So I have a hold on a second. I have a PowerPoint ready. We'll go just desktop and share. All right. And can everybody see that Scholars Program Interest Meeting, March 12th? Maybe somebody give me a thumbs up. I'll go with, you can see it. Okay, so welcome. Obviously, this is for students in 9th and 12th, or excuse me, 9th and 10th grade who are interested in potentially applying to join the Scholars Program. I'll talk to you about what the Scholars Program is. Usually we have this in the auditorium. We get a few students in who are interested and have heard about the program over the years. So I'll basically start with what is the St. Mary's Ryken Scholars Program. Some of you might be familiar, some of you not quite as much. The Scholars Program allows for accelerated curriculum, meaning you're generally in honors and AP level classes throughout. There are courses of study in specific fields, and you spend some time with like-minded students in classes where they might be headed toward a medical field, or they might be headed toward, if they're in the humanities, they might be headed toward a history study when they go on into college. So there's some similar interests involved with the students, and you get to kind of become an expert in a particular field. This picture, I always like to share this picture. This was a couple of years back. This was a group of humanities and performing arts scholars. We took them to the Kennedy Center to see the play On Your Feet. It was just a wonderful experience for all of them. We adults enjoyed it too. And you can just see there's a look of excitement and sort of a spark there that they were ready to enjoy this. And they came at it for, you know, some of them were visual arts. They were interested in the costume and the set. Some of them were in the performing arts and they wanted to see the singing and the dancing. So it kind of had that appeal. We haven't been able to do that as much lately because of COVID, but once we're back to normal, my ideal would be to spend quite a bit of time with making some new experiences next year. Why is it unique? It has a selective academic program with different tracks. There are capstone projects in some of the pathways as well, whether that's the AP capstone or whether that's in a project lead the way. So there's some uniqueness there and some ability to be kind of creative and independent in your learning. It is an addition that you'd put on a resume for college applications. You do get recognized at the end of your high school career. It's a tough program that has pretty high standards, and you're always in high honors and AP classes. But part of it is to find out if you actually like this particular field that you say or you think you like while you're in high school. And that's kind of important to know. And if you find out you don't like it and you're still in high school, then you've saved yourself some time after high school, and that's important too. Okay, so what's important to know? Again, you want to bring some excitement to your learning, gain experience in a particular subject. You know, St. Mary's Ryken being what it is, you're also gathering a lot of people from a pretty vast geographic area, and sometimes you might not otherwise interact with folks except in a class. And so in a scholars program class, you tend to have that chance to interact quite a bit with folks you might not otherwise see. Project Lead the Way provides the STEM curriculum, and that is for engineering, biomedical, and computer sciences. And basically what Project Lead the Way is a national curriculum that encourages hands-on learning in the sciences. In the pathway of the scholars program, you have to take the engineering classes or you have to take the biomedical classes. Those are electives. You also have to be in honors math and honors science. And we're the only school in St. Mary's County that offers this. There's an application process. Our teachers get heavily trained in it. And there are end of course exams similar to what you'd see in an AP class that go with these Project Lead the Way courses too. So there's STEM, engineering, biomedical, computer science. Each of those has a pathway. Use your course catalog throughout and take a look at those pathways. In there, it will say this is the first of the 4 courses in the engineering, or this is the second of the 4 courses in biomedical. Excuse me. You're all coming in at 9th or 10th grade, so you wouldn't finish all 4 courses, but that's okay. You might finish 2 or maybe 3 of those, and have kind of get your feet wet as far as understanding what these pathways are, what the careers are, what study looks like beyond high school. So it's not too late to join. You know, juniors for the most part are probably not going to join for just their senior year, but every year we have a few 9th and 10th graders who do join. There are humanities pathways as well, global and international studies, humanities itself, performing arts, visual arts, lots of different courses in those. AP Human Geography, for example, is a study of the movement of people across history. That's a great global and international studies course. With humanities or visual arts, AP Art History can be taken. I would love to see more students in AP Art History. It's such a phenomenal course, such a long and broad look at art and architecture and its impact on culture over a course of years. And performing arts, for example, the music, AP Music Theory is a course that you should build toward if you're focusing in an instrumental pathway in the performing arts. So lots of different ways. I added health and nutrition and human anatomy. If you're in the dance scholars program, those are courses you have to take. You're a dancer. You need to understand how health and nutrition impacts your body, and human anatomy, what's going on with your body as you're growing as a dancer. When you hurt yourself, what did you just hurt? Things like that. So we wanted to add some of those pieces to really kind of round out a person's education in some of those areas. A whole bunch of different courses, AP Research, Computer Science, AP Art History that I talked about, Aerospace Engineering in the engineering program, drawing and painting. This is a picture from the National Museum of Health and Medicine. We took this group a couple of years ago as well, and this was all the biomedical students. And it was kind of this obscure museum in Bethesda, or no, it says Silver Spring. That's where it was. And it was naval and Army history and medicine. And so there were these old kind of gnarly skeletons and you know, what diseases used to look like and how they were treated in the battlefield of the Civil War and things like that. The neatest thing I saw was there was the actual bullet that killed Abraham Lincoln, and that was in this museum. So just an interesting trip for them to kind of see the differences of how medicine can look and how it can play out over a historical period, not just, I want to be an ER doctor because I watched that on TV, okay? So a little more information for you. So what materials to assist you throughout? There's a course catalog. Like I said, I want you to read that and really kind of have an understanding. You can also go on the St. Mary's website, and I'm going to add that on here right now to the SMR website. And that is in the academic portion of the website. There you click on scholars and it shows you what the requirements are of each pathway. Now, you might not be able to meet all of those requirements, but there's certain things that I say you have to stick to the spirit of the program. You can't not take an honors math class in a STEM pathway because you want to take health and nutrition. Okay, that doesn't work. So you have to stick with the spirit of the program, and that can sometimes be the rub for folks. So you need to know that going in, that it's challenging, and that sometimes you want to take one thing over here, but you've chosen to be in the scholars program, and so it has some courses that you have to take. They are required. We work with students every year. I always tell them we schedule you 1 year at a time. We have a 4-year idea of what you're going to do, but we schedule you 1 year at a time. All right, so those, and I'll show you the recommendation form here in a minute. So what are your steps to actually apply? There's a 1-page essay that you have to send directly to me, Mr. Chamberlain. You all know how to email me. It's no problem. And it's a 1-page essay. Why do you want to be a part of the Scholars Program and with which pathway interests you? Okay. I'm going to show you the teacher rec forms. There's 2 of them that you need to have teachers do, and they send those directly to me. They're going to put comments, strengths, weaknesses, areas for improvement on there, and they want to send that directly to me. Those don't come back through you. That all needs to be turned in by April 15th. At that time, I get those, I compile them, I look at your current grades, I look at your transcript, probably look at PSAT or SAT scores, and make a determination as if this is the right pathway for you. And then we decide from there. And then if we need to change your schedule around and your request for next year, we can do that. And we still have plenty of time because we'll make all these decisions really before we get to May. And there's another year left in the school year to do that. So I'm going to push this down and I'm going to show you, if I can move this over. This is the recommendation form. Move this back over. Hold on. So what this is asking, as you can see, there's the deadline, April 15th. It comes back to me to be returned by recommending teacher. All right. So they'll fill all that in. And then they're going to basically do a bit of a rating about your interest in the discipline. So you need to tell them and tell your teacher beforehand, hey, I'm interested in applying for this. Can I send you a recommendation form? Then you do that. They fill it in. And they're going to talk about your ability to be independent, punctuality, your academic disposition. What kind of attitude is it that you have? What kind of approach do you have to your academics when you're in class? You know, you have to kind of be a go-getter. You've got to be someone who steps up and takes initiative. Collaboration. Are you good at working with other folks? Engagement in the school. And then they're going to give strengths, areas of strengths, potential improvement, and then they'll put other comments. So all of this we will post early next week. We'll send it out to everyone, and then that way you can just access it right then and there. Now I'm going to stop my screen share, and that's going to pull me back up. All right. And we have been recording the whole time. So at that, I would like to open it up to questions. If there's anything you don't know or want to know, you can type it in the chat and I'll answer it for the good of the group. And if there's nothing, that's okay. We will, like I said, we'll post all of this information and the recording of this, and we'll put it all out on Monday. All right. So again, somebody in the chat room, just give me a thumbs up. We heard this whole thing. Thanks, Mr. Chamberlain. There we go. Thumbs up from Natalie and Destiny. Very good. All right. So again, and you can email me individually if you didn't want to share your question with the group. We are doing registration day today, so I won't get back to you until early next week. But like I said, you can see the deadline. There's more than a month to get these forms turned in and the essay written. You send it all directly to me. So you have time, and we have plenty of time to change schedules if we need be. All right. Okay, everyone. Well, I appreciate you coming in today and watching this. And like I said, we'll push more information out early next week. So keep your eyes open for that. All right. Thank you all. Have a good weekend.